So we shouldn't put a yoke. What was the yoke he's talking about? The law, the legalities of the law, the legalities, the Sabbath, the this. Change Udinian from Peter, change Udinian from Paul, change Udinian from Barnabas. What I say? I feel cause ye Sabbath. I feel yen dresses say Jew for. I feel yen about we say Jew for. I feel yen every Sabbath. I feel yen every day of atonement. I feel yen for Jewish customs. Embramet to also. Was it there be this yoke of the law is broken, and we are saved by faith even as they. So they gave Paul the authority to now continue to the Gentiles and preach only faith to them. Only faith to them. Once they believe in Jesus, they can, once they believe in the gospel, right, they can observe their culture, they can maintain their names, they can maintain their cultural practices, right? They can maintain several things, their being, their color, their names, without being necessarily Jewish. I don't know if you get this foundation. Now, the things that the scripture said are things that we learn from them, we live by them, but they are things that are not necessarily for us to do. Can maintain my color. It was rather unfortunate that the Westerners brought this faith and they acculturated us. This is so important. Scripture is what we learn from it. What we learn from it. Scripture is not to be taken directly, verbatim, practiced here. But then we can learn from it. All scripture is given by inspiration and it can be profitable for learning. We can learn from it that God knows that to have cultural foundations, strong cultural foundations, and we can learn from that. But to throw away your culture and say, okay, the Jews say a God instructed them for this culture. So once we have believed, we are going to go and bring Israel's laws. So to say that God gave them this Greek law to do this and mulch and do this and cut it, that God laws are important, work is important. So God is telling us that our identity, all our names are Western or Jewish names. Western. What is identity? So the black man, through the faith in scripture, is killing himself, killing his identity, and we cannot grow because we have and balance in Mariase. And until we are bar at the Abesano. And until you fitan you tum, tin will be benin you bruni. Tinu. But the bibini to the diachne, a castle or quack will live with Sebrunia. He destroys the balances of nature. Me say. Se bibini eto no part I will play in the cosmos. Se ototwene na so se wonam gidie bi so enti olivu. Are we here? Are we here? Yeah. Me can be him. Se bibi se oba ka so olivu se there is darkness, there is cold, there is hot. There is black, there is white. The black man has a special belief our being our purpose in the Great Jerusalem Conference was that there should be faith. Bent every record. God was making them write everything down, but in AD 587 Nebuchadnezzar took the Jewish people into captivity and bent every of their records. The king allowed Ezra to come back and rebuild the temple, and they gathered scribes together to Ezra 400 years before Christ was when the Jews had the scripture. The story of creation was written, Abraham and all those things. All right. So they put down together most of the history orally and some of the scripts that were left and some of the traditions around the Middle East. They had to put them together and make a scripture because the king of Persia had allowed them to be coming back, and now they need priests and they need a book to lead them. Ezra to do this tells you that in the eyes of God, a people's history is very important. If a people lose their history, they've lost their identity. Why did they not come back without a history? They needed a history. That will give them confidence in their identity, because mankind is like a lost species in this huge cosmos. So they something miraculous to be Charlie. Is it the LS? They also are proud. Hey, Yes, we free wiem na toto from where no chanting any free wiem first a giant and you be saying ya sas no can be saying ye be can no credit. But you know the pride attached to the history as an away. Now we are reading a history of Moses. We have no pride attached. We've thrown away our beginnings, our stories, the things that make us take pride, our histories. And of course, university, you history, started free, slave trade, time you baby do so. You history, and now one and you throw be Michael Asante. You